Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, Lurtz, with real arrow launching action. Very excited to get this guy opened up. My favourite character from the Lord of the Rings franchise. Very keen and very excited to get this guy opened up. Was looking for him for a long time, went down to my local figure shop, and by pure fluke they happened to have this guy, and I was absolutely ecstatic. Very happy to pick him up and get him opened up. If you haven't seen my review on the Uruk-hai Warrior and Gimli Battle Pack, make sure you check that out. One thing that's interesting to note about the package, obviously this being a later released figure, they did get rid of the annoying eye that was very bulky and took up a lot of space, so that's very good to see. Taking a look at the back, you can see a read-up on Lurtz at the top. Obviously, he's the strongest Uruk-hai. He's also the first one, I'm fairly sure. That great scene in the first movie where he's born and he strangles or kills the orc guard, and really great character. I was a little disappointed that they killed him off in the first movie. I think he could have been a little bit like the White Orc in the Hobbit series. Could have been a really major character, but still, we'll get this guy opened up and hopefully give you guys a cool review. Okay, and here we have Lurtz out of the packaging. He is a very nice looking figure. It definitely looks like his appearance from the first movie. I'll bring it forward so you guys can see. Great face sculpt. Very nice. You can see there the great detail, obviously the hand on the forehead. And this scar, which I actually don't remember from the movie, to be honest, but it has been a while since I've seen it. One thing I think is really cool, which I'll try and zoom in so you guys can see on camera, is that you can see obviously the armor that gets put on top, which actually is, oh wow, that's very cool. That's a separate rubber piece which you can actually see moving there. And then underneath he's got the traditional, I guess, leather, which is really cool. Very nice to see, actually. Very impressed with that. All the Toybiz figures, the level of detail is fantastic. One thing I think is a little bit interesting is that his arms are black, which is okay, but then his face is this weird maroon red colour, so I'm not too sure what's going on there, and don't quite remember that in the movie, but still very nice detail. Actually, his armour overall is significantly darker to the other Uruk-hai figures. But yeah, in terms of movement, he's got ball jointed head, although it's very stiff here. Ball jointed arms, no. That's very disappointing. Oh no, here we go. Very stiff. Very stiff. Ball jointed arm. Bend at the elbow. This arm actually is different. This one can only move forward and back. And that's because of the gimmick that comes with Lurtz, which I'll run through in a little bit. He does have movement in the legs, bend at the knee, and then obviously some movement in the feet as well. So not too bad, a little bit limited compared to some of the others, but again, Toybiz obviously focusing on the gimmicks with these figures. At the back, we can see the button for the gimmick, which I'll run through. Nice detail actually on the hair. Lots of detail, which is very cool to see. Now, although there's some great detail with this guy, there's a lot of flaws, and it's actually really frustrating considering I was really looking forward to this guy, and he's one of my favourites. So first of all, one of the big things that bothers me is the bow is very difficult to get in his hand. And then once you do, the limited articulation makes it very hard to set this guy up. Some other problems as well, although he does come with quite a few bows on the back, there's no string for the bows. Now, I'm sure there's supposed to be, and hopefully it's just mine, but there was nothing in the box. So that pretty much means I'm stuck with a figure that's got very limited articulation and a gimmick that won't work. So that's very frustrating. He does have on the back a button to bring the arm back, but that is very stiff. So a little disappointing, to be honest. And here we've got Lurtz set up with the other Uruk-hai figures from the first movie. He is one of the nicer looking ones. Unfortunately though, the limited articulation and really just the stupid gimmick really does ruin him for me. If you get a chance, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you're a Lurtz fan, then he's worth picking up, I guess, just to have and just to complete the set. But otherwise, you can probably give this guy a miss.